Nurture and support. Nurture and support. This is a podcast theme song. And it's really short.
Nurture and support begins in 3, 2, 1.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Nurture and Support, sharing all the awesome since 2013, episode number 38. I am Kelly Toole at KELLYTHUL on Twitter, and with me, as always, advancing the Amazon Prime directive in her powdered wig, is Mel.
Hey everybody, it's Mel at Karmic Knight on Twitter, and speaking of Amazon, they bought Twitch.
They did.
Or, well, I guess it's not final yet, but they are paying a hell of a lot of money for Twitch. So, I don't know. Twitch claims they're going to stay, independent, like a lot of the other companies that Amazon has taken in, like mywoot.com. So, but wow, because I thought Google was going to buy Twitch. So, Amazon got in there with a bigger offer, advancing the Amazon Prime directive to infinity and beyond.
It seems like they're kind of consuming.
Well, we will soon all work for Amazon. If you don't belong to the collective,
yeah, that's right. Maybe
you
I'm
will
gonna
be eliminated.
That's not good. It's not good at all. I have to start figuring out what I need to do on it. All right.
Resistance is futile, apparently.
It's starting to sound that way. That's a bummer. And my recommendation, I'm sure you could go to Amazon and get. So so darn it for there. So we'll go ahead and actually just get started. I get to lead off this show with a recommendation. And before I give my recommendation, my caveat of this recommendation will be, it's been over 20 episodes since I've recommended anything related, well, not anything, but an album of Alice Cooper's. So I think I've shown great restraint, and I think that Mel fully expected Alice Cooper album recommendations every show, and I've spaced them out a little bit. I'm not done, but they're just so good. I have to recommend these things because people need to understand some of these things. And this is one I'm fairly confident you won't know much about, Mel. And
I bet you're right.
and this is a little turn, and actually there probably a lot of people don't. So my recommendation, shocker, is an Alice Cooper album. It was released, again, shocker, a long time ago, 1981, and the name of the album is Special Forces. Special Forces was the second of the 3 Blackout albums by Alice Cooper. There was Flush the Fashion, Special Forces, and Dada. And those 3 albums are called the Blackout Albums because they were done in the late 70s and early 80s, and Alice doesn't remember recording any of them. This was, Alice had stopped drinking from the inside. We talked about it, went in, dried out, fell off the wagon shortly thereafter, and proceeded to make these 3 albums, which actually are pretty good albums. There are a lot of folks that don't like them, but I actually think all 3 of these albums are actually very good. I'll talk about the other 2 for another day. Special Forces came out, and this was, while the music, so basically Alice sounds like he's gargling with gravel through the entire album, which probably a vocal style, he's not a crooner to begin with. I get that. But this is a much harder edge Alice voice that you don't hear again until Brutal Planet and Dragon Town and stuff, the industrial metal stuff. But this is kind of, New Wave is out at this point in time when the album's released, and so these are kind of hard poppy. It's not the heavy, there's plenty of guitars, but it's not some of the guitar-dominated kind of Billion Dollar Baby stuff. But it's a fascinating album, and I think this will be part on Mel and part on me. What I hope is Mel demonstrated her awesomeness, and I think our first audio drop ever in Nurture and Support was last episode. Is that? We've had all the Matt Shivers stuff we stole.
Yeah, pretty much.
We drop Matt in all the time, but we had our first kind of piece of media, which is a little bit of Night of the Living Dead, dropped in on the last show.
Yes.
Which was pretty awesome. One of the unique things about this album is it is chocked full of wonderful little moments that would make awesome ringtones from their almost from the beginning of Who Do You Think We Are, which
Who do you think we are?
Starts off the album. Now, I need to help you on Special Forces. So the idea is Special Forces is kind of, I guess, Alice's vision of if Alice Cooper ran a branch of the military, it's Alice's branch of the military.
Ooh, that
So
could be scary.
yeah, it's very scary because he opted. This was probably when he was at his worst health wise with the relapse into alcoholism. When you see him actually interviewed during this time frame, does not look very good at all. He's down to probably just over 100 pounds in terms of weight. And he had chosen to move away from the traditional kind of skull makeup, which is kind of the dark around the eyes, and there's kind of lines that go down, and there's some lines around the mouth, which is kind of the traditional Alice Cooper makeup. That he kind of revamped it, and it was, I don't really know how to describe it. I think so imagine you had an aunt who was insane and put her hair up in a bun and ran red chopsticks through it and put on a ton of makeup on one eye. And that would be the look that he had going.
I think I've seen a picture of him in that getup.
Yeah, it's not a good look for Alice, and he's very gaunt, and he's got the leather jacket with medals on the front and a United States flag on the back, and his riding crop, and he's the leader of the band, and I actually had the opportunity to see the tour that they did to support Special Forces, which begins with fog and helicopter sounds and guitarists all come out with flashlights, like they're searching and these things, and they're all dressed in Alice's version of what Alice's army of the military would look like, which is kind of a lot of berets and these types of things. And so the whole band was kind of paramilitary dressed, and then as they would sing various songs, they would line up in like a flying V formation and march across the stage, and it was all so fun and also interesting. But the album itself is full of I wouldn't call it classic rock and roll, but it's a darn fun album. Who Do You Think We Are? He actually still performs now and then, and it's a really good song, and it's the intro in Special Forces. 7 and 7 was actually originally recorded by a band called Love, and it features the chorus bip bip yeah.
Bip bip, yeah.
Being sung by Alice in his gravelly voice, which is one of the great ringtone moments in here. Then, of course, there's the typical cross-dressing police officer song called I'm the Prettiest Cop on the Block, where it's Alice working the Vice Squad dressing as a prostitute, and he's 6'6" with a face like a hammer. So it's a happy song, and again, another great ringtone where he goes, I'm so pretty, but I'm mean, but I'm pretty, but I'm mean, and so it's kind of fun there. Don't Talk Old to Me, another great song I think I've tweeted this out before on Twitter. Don't shake that finger in my face no more, because I might bite it off and spit it on the floor, is kind of the finish for Don't Talk Old to Me. A really cool song called Skeletons in the Closet, You Look Good in Rags, and then this just amazing song called You're a Movie, which is like the highly arrogant General Alice singing a song about how awesome he is.
I must go now and save the world.
And it's kind of a spoken word type of thing, but it's a kind of a fun little ditty. And towards the end, he goes, move aside, mere drop of water, let the ocean pass. And he just, as he says it, he truly believes it. And it's just this type of thing there. And Vicious Rumors finishes the album off. It also includes, and this is my one quibble, I love Alice dearly, and I love all the songs. There's a song called Generation Landslide that was actually on Billion Dollar Babies, and it's a very good song. While it's a very good song, I'm not sure it should be on about 4 different Alice Cooper albums, which it is, including this one. So it's Generation Landslide 81. And he added like a couple new lyrics at the end, but it was on, it was originally on Billion Dollar Babies, and then it was on Alice Cooper Live, and then it was on Greatest Hits, and then it was on this, and then a different version was on the EP to support this album. So it's quite a lot there, but it is some pretty darn fun music. And what I hope to try and get Mel, we'll see how this all works out, is if I can get her a couple of the really choice little moments of some of the bip bip yeah, or something like that. We can maybe have 1 or 2 of those elements dropped in the show. And I think you'll start to get a hint on why this is actually worth a listen. So it's Alice Cooper's Special Forces. There was a secondary EP that was released that included a live version of Who Do You Think We Are, where Alice's voice even sounded rougher, if you can imagine that. And another version of Generation Landslide, I'm fairly sure. And then a fun little ditty called For Britain Only, which kind of comes back to Alice was banned from England for a period of time because they had issues. So he had been banned from
He
Britain.
had issues with Britain.
There's some issues with Britain and Alice, and they eventually worked it out, and Alice was allowed to return. And so he had a little song about his triumphant return to England.
Wow. I aspire to be banned from an entire country.
And a country say, "You're not welcome any longer."
You're not welcome here. Oh, that's interesting. A lot of those songs sound familiar to me, but I don't know where I would have heard them. I know I wouldn't have been listening to Alice Cooper in 1981, but a lot of those songs sound familiar. So
yeah, this did not spawn a hit. Flush the Fashion, the album before it, Clones, was on that one, and that actually got some decent airplay. But this one did not. The other interesting thing, and we can maybe include this in the write-up, and I'll have to check, because if this is on Amazon Prime, I'm gonna probably have to break down and join. So he did, again, he was, like I said, not in the best of physical shape, but he did an Alice Special Forces in Paris, which was like a television show aired in France, which was basically his band doing all these songs as little mini videos. And it's scary. Even as an Alice fan, he's really scary looking at this. But then a couple years later, he got help again, and he stayed off the alcohol, and he's all good now. But the Alice Special Forces in Paris would allow you to see all of these songs. I think you can scare most of them up on YouTube if you do a search on Alice Cooper in Paris. It was good, and I remember when they were filming it, I had picked up a Rolling Stone, and there was a photo of them in whatever the subway in Paris is called, and the title underneath, and it's Alice with this garish makeup on, and it was Forgotten but Not Gone, Alice Cooper, and I was like, oh, that's not nice.
That's kind of a burn.
That's right, but hot on you, Rolling Stone. He's still around and doing stuff, so
that's right. Sometimes just hanging in there for so long gets you all sorts of kudos. People have to applaud your tenacity, but yeah.
And then last fun fact, Davy Johnstone, who was Elton John's guitarist, who played with Alice on From the Inside, co-wrote Prettiest Cop on the Block. So there you go.
Okay. Two things I would not have thought went together.
No.
Elton John and Alice Cooper.
Correct.
Oh, well. I don't have anything as interesting as that kind of mashup, but I do have an older recommendation. Mine's not quite back to the 80s, though. I have a video game. I haven't done one for y'all in a while. And I may have mentioned this particular game in the past because it is one of my favorite games. I always enjoyed this, but it was released in 1999 by Bullfrog Productions, which unfortunately isn't around anymore. Electronic Arts has taken over all of the games that they made. But this is a game called Theme Hospital. And as I've mentioned before, I love sim-type games. I'm a little micromanager at heart, and I just love micromanaging little fake people on my computer. Theme Hospital is just like it kind of sounds. It's a hospital sim where you are the manager of a hospital and you build it, and you are in charge of building all the rooms, hiring all the staff. You have to research specific diseases to unlock the machines or technologies that you're going to need to cure them. Now, all of that sounds terribly boring. I know. The fun part of this is that Theme Hospital is very, very quirky. And the diseases, it's not like people just get a cold. These people are invisible. Let me go through a little list of some of the diseases you're likely to come across in Theme Hospital. In the early levels, you're going to come across invisibility quite a lot. Now, you might wonder how somebody becomes invisible. Well, You become invisible by being bitten by a radioactive and invisible ant. So you're going to come across that quite a bit at the very beginning. You're going to come across the squits, which is the symptoms are just like it sounds. You get that from eating pizza found under the cooker. One of the ones you'll like, Kelly, which shows up in some of the middle levels, it's called the King Complex. And the people afflicted with this particular disease come into the hospital dressed up like the white-suited, spangly Elvis.
Nice. I do like
And
that.
you have to employ a psychiatrist to treat these poor afflicted souls.
Dr. Jekyll to psychiatry, please.
That's called the King Complex. One of the first ones you'll come across, though, is called Bloaty Head. And you get bloaty head by sniffing cheese and drinking unpurified rainwater. And those people come in with obviously big old bloated heads. Now, how do you fix bloaty head? Well, you have to build an inflator.
Doctor required an inflator room.
They basically pop this person's head and then have to blow it up to normal size again. And that's the inflator. So staff-wise, you have to employ doctors and nurses and little handyman people to clean up all the trash and water the plants and fix the machines when they break. Now, my one quibble with this game is that none of the doctors are women. They're all men. The nurses are all chicks. The little receptionist at the front desk is a chick. And the handyman is, of course, a man. So that's my only quibble.
And I'm going to guess that the nurses are shapely.
No, not really.
Okay.
They're not. They're not, actually. The receptionist is.
Oh. I didn't say hope. I just said I guess. I wasn't.
Yes, the nurses are kind of middle of the road. The receptionist is a cute little girl, but not in a horrible fashion. She's just, this is still somewhat not quite pixelated, but the video quality is not great. This was 1999. It's not real smooth and seamless. So the detail on the animations is not excellent. But one of the cute things when you go to hire staff is every person that you hire that's available to hire, you get a list of people that you get to scroll through and look at their qualifications for the job and how much their salary is. They all have personalities, and you get to go through and pick. Some of them will say, you know, they're snooty and they don't get along well with other people, or they're lazy and they don't care. But sometimes that's all you can get. So sometimes you have to hire these undesirables because, well, your receptionist quit because you wouldn't give her a raise, and now you have to find another one, and there's only one. And your hospital doesn't work without a receptionist because the patients that come in have to check in at reception before they can get in line to see the doctor. So your doctors, you've got different kinds of doctors. You've got regular doctors. You've got doctors that are trained for research. You have different levels of doctors from junior up to seniors. And you've got psychiatrists.
Dr. Lecter, report to security, please. Dr. Lecter to security.
So in the early levels, it's not really going to matter. You are going to have a psychiatrist, but they will intermingle doing what needs to be done. You will quickly have to have a researcher, and you will have to employ more and more doctors to efficiently move these patients through your hospital, because this is a management sim. That's the point. You're supposed to make money and cure a specific number or percentage of patients that come in. The best part of this game is the little sound bites that come across. As you're playing, the receptionist comes over the intercom doing announcements to the clients, like, you know, the patients, you know, please don't die in the corridors.
Patients are reminded not to die in the corridors.
When you have a patient inevitably die, they fall over on the floor, and the Grim Reaper comes out of a crack in the floor and takes their soul away. Sometimes they will float up to heaven, but when they're not going to go to heaven, the Grim Reaper shows up and drags them down to hell, which is always a nice touch.
Of course.
So it's a cute little game. It's not terribly micromanaging. for those who don't like to delve into them that deeply. You can do a little bit of that, but as in all of these sorts of things, your job is to make money, cure people, and keep your patients happy. Because if your wait is too long, or you don't have enough bathrooms, or you don't have enough drinks machines, or your patients are too cold, they will leave your hospital and you won't get a chance to cure them. And as bad things happen, your rating goes down, and so less and less patients will come in, and you'll have more and more trouble meeting your quota to win the level. So it's important that you try to keep your patients happy, cure them in a timely fashion, and get them out. Now, the biggest problem is that a lot of times the space that you're given, it's challenging to fit all of the rooms that you need in the space that you're given, because the rooms that you have to build have to be a certain size. And you still have to have room for people to walk around, and it can be difficult. Now, this is an older game which has difficulty running on newer computers. The reason I bring it up now is because, unfortunately for all of you, you've missed the awesome sale. Now, if you followed me on Twitter, I tried to tell you about it before it was over, that GOG.com, which is goodoldgames.com, had an electronic arts sale over, I believe, last weekend, and they had Theme Hospital for $2.39. Now, you can't beat that price for a game that you even get an hour of enjoyment out of. I think it's fun, especially if you haven't played it before. Coming across all of the new quirky diseases that they come up with is cute. I like it. But unfortunately, you've missed the sale. So right now, for you to get this game from GOG, it is $5.99, which still isn't bad.
Still very affordable.
Yes. And it's a fun game. And through the power of GOG, because what they do is they take a lot of these old games, and they usually are running them through a program called DOSBox to get these old games. It's an emulator to get these old games to play on these newer systems. So I downloaded this, even though I dug up my original Theme Hospital CD because I still have it, because I'm a game hoarder as well as a book hoarder. But it's playing perfectly fine on my Windows 8 machine through GOG. So you can have trouble getting some of these old games even when you have the original discs to play, because they were made to run on Windows 95 or Windows 98. They've never seen anything remotely as crazy and as insane as Windows 8. So they're not going to play without some tweaking. And if you're not good with that sort of tweaking and don't have the patience for trying to figure that out, or the tech savvy to figure that out, GOG fixes all of that for you, because when you download the game from them, it automatically installs with the edits that they've made to get the game to run on modern machines. So this game runs flawlessly on my Windows 8 machine. So if you've got a Windows 8 machine, that a lot of the old games, a lot of games that I could get to play on Windows 7, I cannot get to play on Windows 8. So it works great. So you don't have to worry about it not being able to play. My only problem with this is that for any of you who have a newer computer that you've bought with an AMD processor that has built-in Radeon graphics, you may have downloaded in one of the updates a program called Raptr, which is RAPTR. And that's a gaming community where when you sign up, it automatically detects what games you have installed on your computer. And I guess this is kind of a double recommendation because I enjoy Raptr. You earn points for all the time that you spend playing games.
Oh.
Now, what's the good of these points? Well, they have a little store where if you get a whole lot of points, like over 10,000, you can buy a few games that are in their store with your points. But mostly what it's for is you use your points to enter raffles, basically, that they're giving away. And their mascot is this little yellow, golden yellow little dinosaur, hence the term Raptor. He's adorable. And what I spend all of my points on every month is entering the drawing to win one of these little Raptor stuffed animals. And I've been trying for many months now and have yet to win him. But I live in hope. So my only problem is that because this is running through DOSBox emulator, Raptr is not recognizing it. So I'm not getting credit for the time that I've spent playing Theme Hospital. But that's a minor quibble. It's an enjoyable game. I think you'll appreciate its sense of humor. It's very quirky. It's making fun of itself the whole time and the whole idea of it. But it's fun enough that it keeps you playing. And the game actually moves pretty quickly. It's not one of those. It can get a little hard in the upper levels to meet your quotas in the times that it gives, because it also gives you challenges that you can decline, but you can, if you accept them, the rewards are high. So sometimes there will be an emergency and it will tell you, there's 20 patients with a particular disease that are coming in. Can you accept these patients? So if you can accept them and you can cure all of those patients, you're going to get a big bonus. So that helps you meet, especially in the upper levels, helps you meet your quotas that you're supposed to get to advance to the next level. But it's fun. I like sim games. This one's not too bad on the micromanaging. You can go in and manage your money. Occasionally your staff will be mad and they will demand a raise, and you can decide to either acquiesce to their demands, or you can fire them on the spot. But sometimes it's best that you give them a raise and then you go look and see if there's someone else you can hire before you fire them. Because sometimes you go to look to hire somebody and there's nobody available, and that stinks. Because then if you fired your psychiatrist, you don't have anybody else to cure any of your Elvis impersonators that come in, and you're screwed. So Theme Hospital came out in 1999 by Bullfrog Productions. So Theme Hospital by Bullfrog, it's available now through Electronic Arts, but the only place I think you can really buy it digitally is from GOG.com.
So for the, so I lack the patience, technical knowledge, and focus to try and make. I mean, I tried on Dark Forces 2 to get that working on a Windows 7 machine, and Jedi Knight, and just never. Jedi Knight, such an awesome game. But anyway, so for your download that you did, the DOSBox stuff and all that, because I kind of sort of got into that when I was trying to get this to work,
right,
and eventually gave up.
Don't feel bad because I've tried that. Don't feel bad because I've tried that myself on. I think it's called Whiplash. It's a motorcycle beatdown game, and I can't get it to run. I love that game, but I can't get it to run properly. So don't feel bad. I've tried and done all the technical little things online that they tell you to do. Oh, just change this one little line and it'll work. It doesn't work.
So your install basically handles the integration with DOSBox. So basically, you buy it, you get an exe, you run it, it installs, and you're good to go.
It installs. It puts a shortcut on your desktop to the game. You double-click that icon, and you're good to go.
Cool.
So that's wise. They've edited that shortcut to use the changes that need to be made, and that's why Raptr won't recognize it. Raptr does know the game Theme Hospital, but it's not running off of the exe that Raptr thinks that it should be, so Raptr does not give me credit for having run the file. Because I'm not technically running the file that they think I should be running, I'm running an altered file. So it's just a minor quibble. I would like to get credit for the hours that I've spent playing Theme Hospital, but that's okay. I will get my dinosaur another way. So it's very simple. You just download the exe and it completely installs it by itself. So you're good to go.
Excellent.
Yep.
It's cool. Yeah. So I totally think, since we can on our blog post for the episode have the primary recommendations, and you can kind of slide in your Raptr there as a secondary, sorta. And I think. Yeah. And I think Special Forces in Paris, I'll just toss up there with Special Forces. And
absolutely.
There's symmetry to the universe. We are in fine shape.
Yes, We're good.
Alrighty. Well, we'll move into social media recommendations. And since I appear to be the recommender of things vintage, this seems to run right along that line. It's a Twitter follow, so the handle is the account is Retronaut. And the Twitter handle is the Retronaut. I can't believe somebody had Retronaut, but they did. And that's TheRetronaut. So like astronaut, but retro. So Retronaut.
Cool.
Retronaut is a Twitter account that hourly posts a vintage photo or something. So Mel and I have been recording. The latest one has dropped, which is men in party hats. And it's a picture of a fairly vintage thing of some not particularly happy-looking partygoers wearing some ridiculous hats and those types of things and all that. But it is old-time photos, all sorts. I mean, just a really wide variety of things, whether it's just some fantastic type of thing. So I think it's a great follow. Once an hour, you're going to get a new old photo. So what more can you ask for there? But there's just some really cool things. Some a clipper ship, a Viking walking down New York in 1930. It's just all sorts of interesting things. So
Cool.
Occasionally some posters and or like a science and mechanics cover will come up there as well. So it's just really cool. So I would recommend the Retronaut.
Cool. I haven't seen those. I will definitely check that out. My social media recommendation this week is not so retro, though I would imagine he likes some retro things. This is the Twitter account of Jason, probably it's pronounced Bowden, Bowden. His Twitter handle is @GeekBGangster, just like it says, all smushed together. And basically, he tweets things relevant to my interests. Very geeky stuff. Right now, he's all about Doctor Who, but he tweets all sorts of things like that cute little photo that's going around about Gizmo, from Gremlins, doing the ice bucket challenge. So that everybody's been like, oh, you don't want to do this one. So that's one he's put through a lot. He liked Guardians of the Galaxy, which I loved as well. So he tweets a lot of stuff about Groot these days. But he's all into Star Wars, way into Star Wars, way into all the different Comic-Cons that are out there. And he just tweets a lot of cosplay stuff, lots of cool stuff that is relevant to my particular interests, being geeky and nerdy. And I like him. So that is @GeekBGangster, and his technical name on there is I Am the Geek, but he says his name is Jason in his bio. So go follow him if you like nerdy Doctor Who, Star Wars, Guardians of the Galaxy, Comic-Con stuff, and I think you'll like him too.
Will do. And eventually so will the Nurture and Support Twitter account, but maybe not in the next hour, but we're working hard to practice what we preach there. But sounds cool. Great. Yeah, I had not come across, I'm sure you've retweeted some of his stuff, but cool. Well, I am totally following him right now as we speak, so cool.
All right.
So while Mel and I are busy following our Twitter recommendations, maybe we can hand it over to our good friend Matt to take us out, give the particulars, and we'll be sure and catch you next week.
Yes, we will.
Whether you like it or not.
You can contact us on our website, nurtureandsupport.net, or email us at nurtandsupp@gmail.com. That's NURTANDSUPP@gmail.com. Or tweet us at nurtandsupp on Twitter.
Nurturing and supporting Charlie.